Hello everyone, thanks for joining me for another video. Today I would just like to start off the new playlist as previously discussed on my channel update. I want to start talking about the prepping side of things, discussions, interactions. Next month I do have a long time off work and I'm going to get as much videos as I can. But in the meantime, right now we're speaking about prepping. Okay, the sun is shining, it is an absolute beautiful day, and what better way to enjoy it than having my day off work. But literally 7 days ago I was in the red zone of the storm, the eye of the storm, the worst it could be. The Met Office here in the UK, red warning, very rare, very serious, and it was because of the beast from the east. The adverse weather conditions brought a lot of snow that halted the country, basically put it on its knees. Only 2 days ago as well, this is 5 days after the storm passed, 5 days later there was only speckles of shelves in the supermarkets starting to get back to normal. There was no bread for those 5 days, no milk. Why these are always the common things here in Scotland for people to get, I don't know. It's not my first survival option, but for the comfort point, seeing it weighing past, I get it. But the shelves were bare. It came to the point when they did start to get some coming through eventually, days later, that everyone was rationed to 2 loaves of bread or 2 cartons of milk. Now that says a lot for me. As well as that, I just want to kind of think of where people are at in the idea of prepping. Is it conspiracy theorists? Are they crazy? Well, see, when it comes to a situation like that, and that's not the first situation I've experienced recently. One scenario, you'll see the video, I'll put the links below. A video I did well over a year or 2 ago was the water supply. There was poison within it, something went wrong, and the government had a contingency prepper plan in place where we got the water until that was sorted out on the infrastructure side. Now this with the weather, we're seeing supermarkets rationed. So to me, one, like I've always said, your biggest preppers, those who are prepared, are your governments, whether it's warfare or whether it's plans due to the Icelandic volcano or the beast from the east or water getting poisoned. There's always contingency plans and stockpiles, so your governments are always the first ones to be prepared. Why then, as an individual, looking after myself with common sense, any skills that I'm learning, why not prepare? However, people who don't prepare end up panicking. And even with a week's notice that this beast from the east was coming, the panic buying during the days that it hit, let alone the day before, people just scrambled to get into that supermarket. It was chaos. Queues were out the door when the supermarkets eventually opened. And when they open, some shelves are bare, some have got something, but it came to the point where you realised it's best to get away. So the only thing I'm thinking of when I do this video is that beast from the east, that adverse weather that saw most of the UK halted for some time in the past week, made me realise it's a refreshing thought to be a prepper. It's a refreshing thought to know that some common sense is actually still better off as a tool. So I was only wanting to start doing this video, it's unscripted as obviously you can tell. How did you get on during the adverse weather, this beast from the east? What did you make of the fact that, right, you might not be a prepper, you might not like the idea of it, but surely seeing how people quickly go from this democratically free, conservative, very politically corrected, well-mannered society of this country, all of a sudden panic, anger, and every type of natural human emotion kicks in. Surely then you must realise it ain't a bad idea to have something prepared. And that's all prepper is, being prepared. That stuff really made me think. The only thing I would say how I felt, I wouldn't even say it was a conscious stress, it was probably more subconscious. I enjoyed getting out in the drone with the weather. I had all the food I needed, never once worried about it. But when I was starting to get back into the car parks at the supermarket, when I was on the roads, when I was involved with the towns, the city, it was like I had a very short fuse with like people not caring that I'm reversing into the car park space, or they're walking past very quickly with trolleys to get the last one. There were literally no trolleys at the supermarket when things were starting to get back to normal. They were everywhere. It was crazy. But normally you'll always get someone that ain't looking where they're going, but this was just like focus of a mind in each individual. Go, 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 me, me, me. It was like with a horn, and that's when I knew in myself. And I would say I'm quite a temperate guy. I've got a lot of temperance in me, and I think even I correct myself often enough, I evaluate myself often enough, that examine of conscience. And to see that change in me when I wasn't panicking, when I was fine doing what I was doing, but to get into that feeling of the chaos, of the panic, it made me realise I don't want to be part of that when it hits. So I'm stockpiling as best as I can. I am preparing as best as I can, which I think was the bigger one for me. I don't have thousands and thousands of pounds to spend in stockpiling long long expiry dated food, things like that. I don't have that type. For me, if everything hits the fan, my skills, my mindset, my planning ahead is what's going to be my biggest tool to survival. I'll get out, I will bug out, and bugging out videos are another thing that are certainly coming now, because after witnessing how I felt myself being in that chaotic environment, you're best to get away from it. Best to get away from it. And when you're cosy, used to the elements, used to all 4 season camping, you're in those woods, you're up that hill, you're in the middle of nowhere, you've got your shelter, you've got your food, you've got your fire, you're warm, you're at peace with your loved ones maybe, if not yourself, you're at peace, you're away from the chaos. And that to me is going to be the best chance for anyone to survive. Absolutely. These good people of this country who live by the law, who are very polite, well-mannered in this democratically, politically correct country, it all goes pear-shaped when the panic stations happen. And last week was proof. And I know many people who aren't a prepper probably think it's still silly. You know what I'm talking about. Think about it. The Irish had a new idea. They didn't even go 24 hours before the digger came in and basically took the roof off of Lidl supermarket, and people were basically getting in, ransacking it and taking as much as they could for free. Many get arrested, but this comes a point where you see the police protecting the state, the social structure, and it made me think on a new level. Not only is it best to be prepared for myself, to stay away from the chaos, but when it happens like that, and that only took 24 hours for those people to feel the need to have to do that. They weren't worried about the criminal side, they weren't worried about anything else, they just wanted in that supermarket within 24 hours. Why they had to do it in such a short time? Literally they must have had nothing in the fridge, or else, I don't know, whatever. But see, when I saw that, to me, apart from what I've already said on a personal note, I don't want to be anywhere near that stuff when it's happening. If that's what happens within 24 hours of adverse weather, what is it going to be like if the grid is down for a week? What happens if there's any type of power outage, name your scenarios, influenza pandemic, a new plague, nuclear detonation going off, the infrastructure, economic collapse. We've already saw the riots down south a few years back. All these things are nothing but building the furnace, fanning the flame of absolute chaos, panic, anger, all to do with survival. Get yourselves prepared, stockpile what you can, learn the skills, living off the land as best you can, and if anything, once you have all these things in here, no matter what scenario happens, if you're alive and you have to survive, then all the bushcraft skills, all knowledge of the wilderness, plantation, trees, edibles, medicinal purposes, stockpiling your foods, your equipment, even getting out into the winter wild camping, which I was doing before this all hit, gets your mind in a place of, I know how to be comfortable in all weather. 4-season wild camping, 4-season bushcraft, 4-season fitness. That's what I'm all about. And as much as it's coming slowly but surely, these recent events are only making me feel recharged and reconfirmed that I'm doing what's right. I'm doing something that is important. And I would only say to you, the viewers, if you are preppers, great. Send me the feedback, what you thought, what you witnessed from the news channels, how you coped yourselves. If you're not a prepper, watching those news channels, the chaos, the panic, the selfishness, how did that make you think in terms of, it's going to come again, winter comes about every year. We don't know what else other events, whether it's natural or whether it's through people in any way, we don't know what's going to come. But if it's going to come to another situation where you seriously start feeling, I need to get some extra food in, I need to stay away from this or whatever, how's this a refreshing thought for you now based on the recent events? Are you just going to continue on as normal and then panic the next time it comes? Or does it really give you a refreshing thought? It certainly gave me one, and I would like to know your feedback, guys. I'd like to know a bit more with your ideas, your own planning. Let's get something where we're building a community, a network of like-minded people. And I know there's many out there that are doing what I'm doing. I can see the Facebook groups. I'm on a couple myself, the preppers and survivalists and bushcraft ones. Get yourselves on them, but get a little response back to me and I'll certainly write back to you, and hopefully can maybe even find each other on those groups. But I'm open to ideas, this is all I'm saying. And in the meantime, stay tuned. I'm not rambling on anymore, but the beautiful day that it is, spring is in the air, summer's coming, and hopefully we get a good one, which is only want me to get out all the more, get that drone up there, bring you some good videos, all the better quality, that's what I aim for. And then looking at new bushcraft skills, bushcraft shelters for sure, not like the last one, and meetups. But I want to get more into the prep and things like that, but hopefully this kickstarts that, and I'm looking for a good community, a good network, a good vibe on whatever situation might be out there. We've always got hope in each other. So hit the like button, subscribe, give me your feedback, and see you in the next video. Cheers guys.